Cool. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today for our SPIFFE Community Day. It's been a while since we did this. I think before the pandemic, when we did the SPIFFE Day last, we have almost 200 plus signups this time around too. So we're almost back to the pre-pandemic days. Especially doing this event outside of KubeCon, it shows the community is still growing and there's lots of interest in SPIFFE and SPIRE. At least I see a lot of new faces as well. My name is Umair Khan. For those who know me, I'm the community chair for SPIFFE and SPIRE projects. Have been around the community for a while. I'm super excited to share all the content today, and for the in-person attendees, we'll have a cool unconference experience as well. So before I start, let me just want to share, be kind, be respectful, ask questions. We want to make it as interactive as possible and make it inclusive for folks on the Zoom and folks here as well. So please ask questions as they come along and interact with us. But we do abide by CNCF's Code of Conduct. SPIFFE and SPIRE are CNCF projects as well. If you have questions at any time, put them in the chat window. We'll do Q&A with all speakers, pretty much about for 5 minutes. And we'll read the questions out, but if for some reason you need to ask a question on the phone, you can unmute yourself and ask the question as well. Before we go into today's agenda, I wanted to say a big thank you to Uber's team, especially Ryan. I don't know, Ryan, if you want to come and say a few things. Uber made this happen. They supported this in-person event. So yeah, if you want to say something, Ryan.
Yeah. So my name is Ryan Turner. I'm a software engineer at Uber and maintainer on SPIRE projects.
So come here for the camera.
Yeah. Just want to say welcome everybody here to Uber's campus. We're happy to have you here. Obviously, super excited to host this event. You guys are kind of the backbone of this community. Your participation, your contributions are really what makes SPIFFE and SPIRE like a vital part of the zero trust security space. So thank you very much for that. Just a kind of quick reflection back on my experience with SPIFFE and SPIRE. I kind of became part of this community in 2019 before the pandemic. And at that time, we actually hosted this event at our old headquarters as well. So it's really cool to see it come full circle, that we're all back together again. At Uber, we've really gone all in on SPIFFE and SPIRE as like the identity substrate for both workload and for personnel identity. For some cases, we actually use SPIFFE ID formats for all of our personnel actors as well. So we've kind of gone all in on this concept of SPIFFE, and we were running SPIRE, multiple deployments of SPIRE in production for several years. And it's really been a mission critical system for us at Uber. So it's been cool to see all the contributions like adding up over time and really making this like a robust, reliable production system. So I just wanted to give a quick plug that we have a couple blog posts if you're interested to learn more about our usage of SPIFFE and SPIRE. We have a public engineering blog on our website, so would invite you to check those blogs out. We have one about authentication to Kafka, as well as attribute-based access control using SPIFFE IDs as the way to represent identity. And just kind of a quick announcement that we are also going to be publishing a new blog post on our journey with SPIFFE and SPIRE comprehensively. That's coming out in early November, so keep your eyes open for that if you're interested to learn more about what we're doing with SPIFFE and SPIRE. And if you're interested in our team at Uber, I'm happy to have a conversation and let's connect and talk about that. But yeah, wish you all a great SPIFFE Community Day here today, and again, welcome.
Thanks again, Ryan and the Uber team. The community really appreciates your support, for sure. I think it's a big lag in the next screen. So in terms of agenda, we will start with some community intros. I'm not going to walk through the agenda. Then we'll have project updates, a keynote and a few talks, followed by lunch and some other sessions and break. And for those in person, we'll have SPIFFE unconference as well. For those virtually, we'll probably end at 1:40-ish time frame. We have a packed agenda, so I do feel like we might eat into the lunch break just a little bit because we have a lot of presenters and a lot of community members in the intro slots as well. So I'll get going on that. Community intros are all about introducing relatively new community members who have not spoken at a previous community event before. Just their names, where they work for, the companies or their organization's interest in SPIFFE and SPIRE. So we have a bunch today, and I think pretty much all of them are virtual. So I'm going to start with Andre. Andre, are you on?
Yes, I am. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Great. So hi, everyone. My name is Andrei Brito, and I work at the Distributed Systems Lab in Campina Grande. We are a relatively large research group, around 150, 60 people. A few of them are here in this call. And we work with issues related to cloud computing, like security, scheduling, infrastructure, things like that. And in the next slide, I have mentioned a few points that are related to why we got in contact with SPIFFE and SPIRE. So we have been working with trust execution environments for almost 7 years, since the very beginning. And we thought that SPIRE was a good way to help these trusted execution environments to interact with other systems and abstract the complexities of attestation. And then since then, we have been looking for other ways to integrate SPIFFE and SPIRE in things that we do, because we are a research lab that does most of our things in cooperation with industry. So we do believe in SPIRE and in the power of open source to approximate the academia and the industry. So that's basically that. Feel free to talk to me at any time. Thanks, Umay.
Thank you so much. Up next, we have Zeal. I hope I got your name right.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I am Zeal. I am with a small startup or a mid-sized startup, Jupiter One. I look into compliance and compliance engineering here, and SPIFFE SPIRE is new to me conceptually. Also, it is quite new when it comes to the compliance community. TLDR, I'm looking to understand use cases or how we could use SPIFFE and SPIRE or SPIFFE particularly to have identity-based or machine-based attestation for certain controls, and how do we bubble them as an asset inside and inside an asset management software. So that's me in a nutshell. I will be in and out as I have a few meetings on the side, but please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or DM me.
Great, thank you so much. Welcome to the community.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Welcome. And
is this the intro or is it the only time allocated? If it is, I'll rush through the slide descriptions as well.
Slide descriptions as well, both.
Okay, so I'll kind of do a blitz talk and introduce myself. And okay, then good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Volkan. I'm working at VMware Telco Cloud Edge, and I'm fairly active in the community. You can see my talks and chats in the Slack channel if you join in. So I'm also the lead architect of VMware Secrets Manager, and today I'd like to share how we have leveraged SPIFFE and SPIRE to tackle the problem of managing secrets in a secure, independent, and cloud-native fashion. And I'll rush through it because it's squeezed. So what is VMware Secrets Manager in the first place? It is more than just a secrets vault. It's like a cloud-native solution designed to manage secrets across workloads. And we have components like vSecond Safe for storing secrets, and Sidecar for delivering them, and Sentinel for the an administrative tasks, essentially. But how it links to SPIFFE and SPIRE, we chose SPIFFE and SPIRE for the flexibility and security, and we use SPIRE as our identity control plane. It enables us to make secure MTLS communication between the secret store and the workload, essentially. So I see it as the glue that binds our entire architecture together. I'll quickly segue into telco and edge deployments. And telco and cloud edge, space is at premium. So memory is not cheap. CPU is not cheap because they are in small, tiny boxes. And because of those energy and footprint requirements of edge computing, VMware Secrets Manager is a great fit because it's lightweight, thanks to SPIFFE and SPIRE. And additionally, it's easy to deploy because of its simplistic nature compared to other solutions. And when discussing secrets, I feel personally responsible and obliged to comment on HashiCorp's recent stance on the ecosystem. As we all know, HashiCorp's business source license restricts competitive use of their products. And in that regard, having an open cloud-native secrets management solution like ours, or maybe others, has become almost a necessity in the ecosystem. And that's why we are working on this as well. And how does it work? As I said, SPIRE delivers identities as suites to our components. Sidecar fetches secrets periodically from safe. And Sentinel is the only component where secrets can be registered, which gives an additional level of trust boundary around things. So what are the benefits? Security, thanks to SPIRE. Flexibility, again, thanks to SPIFFE, we can extend our architecture and we can federate the secrets across clusters, and performance because we keep everything in memory. And to conclude, by integrating SPIFFE and SPIRE, we managed to build a secure, flexible, and efficient system that is especially suitable for edge deployments where ease of operation, energy consumption, CPU, and memory footprint are crucial to the safety and the purpose of the system, essentially. So I invite you to check out our GitHub repository and also our website for the demos, documentations, videos, and other things to look at. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Volkan. Up next, we have Abe. I think I'll just quickly bring it up.
Sure, thanks. Hi everyone, I'm Abe Sharp from Hewlett Packard Enterprise. So I've been lucky enough to work with a number of the SPIFFE and SPIRE experts from the Sitel team, which HP acquired a few years back. My personal interest in it, I work for a business unit called Esmeralda, and we've introduced a machine learning platform called Esmeralda Unified Analytics, which is our flagship product. And because it's all based on Kubernetes, it has Istio, which is used for routing of virtual services to all of the different machine learning apps that we deploy on our platform. And that brings in SPIRE server, SPIRE on CSI to secure the MTLS communication between all of the pods. So from the Istio ingress to all of the back-end pods which run these applications that you see here. So because I work directly with customers to keep this up and running, for me, high availability of SPIRE server is critical. We've found out the hard way that when SPIRE server runs out of storage space or anything, any of those things that you can imagine, and so, some pod can't renew its certificate or its identity because of that, then the apps become inaccessible. So we're coming with various ways to manage the storage, and also when we need to upgrade SPIRE server, we've been playing with ways to synchronize the time, the point at which all of the pods will renew their identities by reducing the TTL, then expanding the TTL to as long as we want the maintenance window to be. So we have some time to play with the SPIRE server before anything else wants to come along and grab a new certificate. So that's some of the things that we've been playing with. Hope it's of interest.
Thank you. Next up, we have Kumarish. Are you on?
Hi, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
Hi, I'm Kumaresh, staff developer from ING Crypto Squads. We have a large, let's say, microservices platform called, we like to call it Touchpoint, services or business technology platform, there are quite a few microservices built around to service the open banking in the European finance landscape. And all of them are relying on MTLS, of course, and we do run an internal certificate authority from which we hand out the certificates. It was getting difficult and hard and not scaling enough with the custom homegrown validation, So the SPIFFE ID was the perfect standing that we could find to identify the workloads, as all of them are provisioned via pipeline. And that's why I'm also joining. Our landscape is not SPIFFE enabled at the moment, but we do want to start using it. And the first point was, okay, introducing the ID and validating it centrally. And the goal is to enable its use and also for authorization decisions, for example, production, non-production workloads, what can they do, what they cannot do, etc. So really excited to be here and hoping to learn a lot today. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, Fabian, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Perfect.
All right. Cool. Good morning from Germany, and thanks for welcoming me to the community. So yeah, I'm Fabian. I'm a senior security consultant with Control Plane. So we are a cloud-native security consultancy and helping customers in highly regulated environments with their security challenges. We hear a lot about two topics, among others, of course, in the recent past, and that will be zero trust architectures, but also confidential computing. So both approaches are interesting because they limit the amount of implicit trust that a user needs to place into a computing system. So zero trust architectures, of course, and SPIFFE and SPIRE are great to provide machine identities, which allows to explicitly state the level of trust we want to place in another computing system. Confidential computing, on the other hand, tries to reduce the so-called trusted computing base, so remove all the components that you don't want to trust, basically, from your computing environment. So due to the open nature of SPIFFE and SPIRE, both the community and the open source, I was able to write a proof of concept that basically shows how to issue secure SPIRE identities for confidential virtual machines on AWS within just a week. So it was great to have the Slack, ask for help, have the community meetings to present and get some feedback and yeah, validation, affirmation. That was great for someone new to the system. And if you want to learn more, I've written a blog post, you can find it behind that QR code. The fork is on GitHub. It should be right behind that picture on the slide. And you can also reach out to me on LinkedIn or Twitter if you want to chat about the topic or even help with the implementation. That's a rather big topic and it's just a proof of concept for now. So I'm happy to collaborate. Cool. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And moving on to the next one. Andrew, are you on?
I sure am. Hello, everybody. I'm Andrew Martinez. I work on a project called OpenZD. You can find us on GitHub. We're completely open source. And we provide zero trust networking, but we do it differently than a lot of people that are out there. We actually provide SDKs in basically every modern programming language that's available. And we actually allow you to bring zero trust networking into your applications. We also do provide applications that you don't have to develop yourself. They're called tunnelers, and they basically can act kind of like a VPN client and sit on your machine or your mobile device and intercept traffic. But essentially the goal is we have a giant mesh network or a small mesh network. So you might be deploying this in different cloud providers, or you might just be trying to deploy it between, say, your home and maybe your buddy's home, and you want to, secure some traffic between the two of you. But essentially, you can put software routers in both locations and you can expose services over the OpenZD network. And it's completely dark to everybody else unless you can somehow authenticate with OpenZD, which is how SPIFFE and SPIRE come in. We actually integrate with SPIFFE ID providers. So if you can provide a SPIFFE ID that the network trusts, it will essentially let people access any of the services that are on there that their claims essentially give them access to. There's a policy engine inside of it. And when we first started looking at SPIFFE, that was the main path. We were looking at how do we create workloads that can communicate over our network and not have to go through extra manual API calls or steps. And so we found SPIFFE and we started implementing it for clients. And then we actually started to realize the power of it and that it lets us rotate certificates or JWTs on any of our actual network devices. So we actually have an HA release coming up, so you can have multiple controllers, and actually they're actually using SPIFFE IDs, so you can onboard new controllers dynamically to expand or contract your network for redundancy, or for any of the software routers as well. We're starting to add capabilities where you can spin up your routers on any cloud provider, and as long as they're coming from either PKI or some signer that provides a SPIFFE ID that the network trusts, they can actually just spin up dynamically, so you can expand and contract this mesh network on demand.
Great.
And that's all I have.
Thank you so much. And I think it was